My name's Emma and I've got autism. Well, from 11, I struggled really badly with my mental health after going to secondary school. And, that got worse because I didn't feel like I was like the other kids at school. I felt like I was weird instead of them. And once we got the diagnosis, it was easier for me to be like, oh, I realise why I do this now, or why they might not understand why I'm not like them. And it made it easier for my friends and my family to understand when I did things. It wasn't wrong, or it was because I didn't know that, or to me it felt right, but to them it just seemed a bit odd. Mum had always thought I was autistic because it runs very strongly in the family, and we believed my brother had it. So then eventually we decided to get me tested when my mental health kept getting worse, so we could maybe try and get to the root of what the cause was. So we went to the mental health hospital and we did lots of little puzzles and different things to see, and eventually they came back with that I was autistic. And that was easy because it was things like I couldn't read between the lines in English. If something looked obvious to me, it was obvious. There was nothing else there. And that was one of the puzzles to do, was to explain something. And obviously I always state the obvious because that's all I can see. It made a big difference. It made me feel a lot happier and a lot more confident in myself, to know why I was like this, to understand myself. And it just made me feel like I was finally fitting in as my own person, that I didn't need to be like the rest of the people because I wasn't. And that was okay, that wasn't a bad thing. In the longer term, it means I can access more places that can help me with things, and it means when I apply for jobs, people will understand that I can't always do something, or something needs to be explained to me in a more thought out way, straightforward, or I won't be able to do it because I won't know what they mean if they add extra bits in and it's not just straightforward exactly what they want. It means I can feel more comfortable when I go outside and with my friends, because I know that they know who I am. I know who I am, and it just makes life all around more simpler, knowing that that is who I am. This project is called Be You, and it's always important to be yourself, because you shouldn't be somebody else. Everybody's different, and there's no point trying to be something you're not. There's no point in hiding something, because it's not shameful. If you need help with something, you get help with something, and life moves on. Nobody's gonna stop you or make fun. It's just how it is. It's positive because it means I can access more. I can be friends with people who also have autism because they understand me and I understand them. It means I feel happier when we go out places and I can just be myself. I don't have to mask the autism. And people can look all they want, but I know that that's me and that's who I'm supposed to be. I got a 2-2 in a university dissertation when I was in year 9. I wrote about paralysis and robotics and how the body can eventually start to rebuild with stem cells. And that was quite good, being only 14 and getting something the same that my cousins got when they were 22. It's I cut the tags out of my clothes because my sensory processing, I don't like the feel. I don't like the feel of certain clothes. I won't wear wool because it's too itchy. And then when my friends were kind of like, that's a bit weird, I was like, well, maybe that's something wrong with me. And it was I have to do things in fours, like locking the door or spin around. If I can't spin one way, I must spin back the other. Otherwise, I just feel weird. It doesn't work. I have to lock the door 4 times just to make sure. And I've always thought that was weird. I didn't know if it was me just trying to be extra cautious. But then when I got my autism diagnosis, it made more sense. Or it was I don't have good social communication. So when I was out with my friends, I'm normally quite quiet in the background unless it's my 2 best friends that I'm out with on my own. I could never order things at counters. My friends had to do that for me. and it was just overall being out of place, kind of, and not being able to do what they were doing. Animals have always been a big part of my life. They've always kept me sane. Like, I had a therapy dog, and he helped me get out of the house when I was locking myself away. And, you know, I was just distracted in a world where all I wanted to talk about was animals, because that made me feel safe and in a world of my own. And then when I started at Daisy Chain, I started as a service user. So I got to meet the animals on a farm, and I could feed them and stroke them. And now that I volunteer, obviously I feed them, I muck them out, but now I get to go like in their enclosure and hug them and give them belly scratches. I get to take them out with their cages and hold them. I get to give them baths, and it just sets off all the serotonin in my brain and makes me so much happier than I used to be.